Today we are going to show you a new nail design, the Shimmer nail design, and this is the tools that we are going to use today. This is our fast drying dipping powder, and this is our dip glue system. Number 1, base. Number 2, activator. Number 3, top coat. And number 4, brush saver. And this is the color from our G6405. It is the shimmer green kit. It is pretty shiny. And the color that our nail tech wears is number 155. And this is the color, this is the nail design that we are going to do in this live show. Okay, now let's get prepared to do the nail design. Today we are going to use 3 colors to do this nail design. Number 155 and number 152 from the G6405 kit, and the glitter number 146 from the kit G6605. This is the number 154 color. Now let's open the cap and check the dip powder. It's shiny. And this is number 155, the color that our nail tech wears. Let's check the dip powder. It's the fast drying dipping powder. And this is the glitter, number 146 from the kit G6605. Now let's open the cap and check the glitter. It's the silver glitter. And now let's get prepared. Use this stick to Okay, this is the bond. Next, we are going to use it to clean the nail bed one by one. And this is a very important procedure that you are going to do when you do your nails. If you don't have this bond, you can find it at our Amazon shop store. Okay? Now, next we are going to apply the first layer of base. Open the cap. Apply the first layer of base. Brush it evenly and slightly from the middle left to the right, and dip it into the color powder. You don't have to dip it into the color powder fully, because next we are going to apply a layer of clear powder on the upper part of the nail. Dip it into the clear powder. Tap off the excess powder and use this brush to brush it off. Now we are going to apply a second layer of base coat. Every time you should apply the base coat very evenly so that the powder will not get clumpy on the nail surface. Brush it evenly and dip it into the color powder. Please pay attention to the way that our nail tag tap up the excess powder slightly. And now we are going to stick a silver line. This is the little decoration that we are going to do on this nail. As you can see, this nail has two colors. One color is the clear powder, and the second color is the blue color. Now we are going to use these little tweezers to put this silver line on the upper part of this nail. You have to be very patient in this process. As to the extra silver line, you can use these scissors to cut it off. Cut it off carefully and use this tweezer to press it down so that it can stick more fit to this nail. Brush the excess powder off. Now we are going to apply the third layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly. Now we are going to dip it into our fast drying clear powder to protect the color. Brush off the extra powder. Now it's finished. Let's get to another nail. We are going to repeat the same steps as we did before. First, apply the first layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and dip it into the color powder for almost 2 seconds. Take it out, tap up the excess powder, and dip it into the clear powder. Use this brush to brush off the extra powder. Now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Every time when you apply the base coat, please remember that you should apply it evenly so that the color powder will not get clumpy on the nail surface. Now dip it into this color powder. Tap up the extra powder. Next, we are going to use this silver line and put it on the nail surface to finish the decoration. Put the silver line on the nail surface when the base is still sticky. Use this tweezer to press it down. With a little strength. Now let's cut the extra line. It will be very convenient for you to use this kind of scissors to cut this line. Brush off the extra powder. Now we are going to apply the third layer of base coat, because next we are going to dip it into our fast drying clear powder to protect the color and the decoration. Dip it into the clear powder. Brush the excess powder off. Now let's turn to this nail. We are going to do another nail design. Every time you should apply the base coat first. Brush it evenly. And dip it into this color powder. As you can see from this video, you don't have to put it fully into this color powder. Now we have already applied a layer of clear powder. Brush the base coat evenly and slightly from the middle left to the right, so that the color powder will not get clumpy on the nail surface. And dip it into this color powder for a while and tap off the excess powder. And next, dip it into this clear powder. And this is the nail design that we are going to do on this nail. Now let's turn to another finger. The steps is almost the same as the one that we did just now. Apply the first layer of base coat and dip it into this purple color powder. You don't have to put the nail fully on this color powder. You have to leave the upper part of this nail, because next we are going to dip it into our clear powder. Our fast drying dipping powder can air dry within 30 seconds. This is one of the biggest advantages of our products. Now we are applying the second layer of base coat. Brush it evenly, and then let's dip it into our color powder. Please pay attention to the way how our nail tech is doing the nail. Tap off the extra powder and dip it into the clear powder. Use this kind of brush to brush off the excess powder. Now let's turn to this thumb. Apply the first layer of base coat from the middle left to the right. Brush it evenly. And now we are going to dip it into the color powder. Use this brush to brush off the extra powder and apply the second layer of base coat to make the color more solid. Brush it evenly and slightly. and dip it into this color powder for a while. Tap off the excess powder and brush it off. And now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. And dip it into this clear powder to protect the color, because next we are going to do the filing. Okay, now let's turn to this little finger and apply the first layer of base coat. Dip it totally into this color powder. Tap off the extra powder. Apply a second layer of base coat to make the color more solid, and dip it into the color powder. Brush the extra powder off. And again, we are going to apply the third layer of base coat, because next we are going to dip it into the color powder. Now our nail tag is cutting two silver lines. And now we are going to use these little tweezers to put the silver on the middle of this nail. Press it down slightly. When the base coat is still sticky, don't use your hand to press this silver nail down. Cut off the extra line. And use this tweezer to do some adjustment. And now we're going to apply another layer of base coat and dip it into this clear powder. Brush the extra powder off. Now let's turn to another hand. We are going to repeat the same steps. Now we are going to dip it into the color powder for seconds. Tap off the extra powder off. And now we are going to apply a second layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly. And dip it into the color powder in order to make the color more solid. Every time you apply 2 layers of base coat, and dip into the color powder for 2 times. Brush the extra powder off. And now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Then we are going to dip it into our clear powder to protect the color. Brush it evenly so that the color powder will not get sticky. Okay, finished. Now let's turn to this finger. Apply the first layer of base coat and dip it into the color powder. Tap off the extra powder. And now we're going to apply the second layer of base coat. And dip it into the color powder. Use this brush to brush the extra powder off. Apply the third layer of base coat. And now we're going to do some little decoration of this nail. Use these tweezers to put this silver line in the middle of the nail surface. And press it down slightly. And cut the extra line off. And now we are going to apply another layer of base coat and use this clear powder to protect the color and the decorations. Brush the excess powder off. Now, next, we are going to do our final design. We are going to use this glitter to do the decoration. Apply the first layer of base coat. Brush it evenly. And dip it into this glitter color powder. As you can see from this left shot, this glitter is pretty shiny. Tap off the extra powder and apply another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly. The color is really pretty shiny. Now we're going to dip it into the glitter again for 2 seconds and tap the extra powder off. And remember, don't get the color powder on your nail skin. Okay, now let's apply another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly. Next, we're going to dip it into this clear powder to protect the glitter. Tap off the extra powder. Now let's turn to another nail. We are going to do the same design. Apply the first layer of base coat and dip it into this glitter. Brush the extra powder off. Now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and dip it into the glitter powder. Brush the excess powder off. Now we are going to use this clear powder to protect the color and the glitter. So we are going to apply another layer of base coat. And dip it into the color powder. Brush the extra powder off. Now we almost finished the two hands, and our nail tech is cleaning the table. Our fast drying dipping powder can air dry within 30 seconds, so you don't have to apply a layer of activator before you do the filing. It can air dry by itself very quickly. And this is one of the great advantages of our fast drying dipping powder. It can save you a lot of time. Next, we are going to do the filing. First, our nail tech will use this e-file to file every nail one by one. Every time you use this e-file to do the filing, please file the nail surface slightly. Don't get your nail surface hurt. And because we apply a layer of clear powder, so it can protect the color and the decorations in this process. So it's very important for you to apply a layer of clear powder before you do the filing. And if you don't have this kind of clear powder, you can find it on our Amazon shop store. We have a nail tools kit which includes this kind of clear powder. Okay, since our nail tech is doing the filing, it's gonna take you a lot of time. So next we'll make a summarization about our nail design in this live show. First, we used the 3 colors in this live show. 2 colors are from the G6405 kit, number 155 and number 152. And we also use a kind of glitter from the kit G6605, number 146. And the tools that we used in today's live show include our dip glue. Next, we are going to use this file to do the filing. You can use this file to file the nail into the shape that you want. The tools that we used in today's live show include our dip glue, fast drying dipping powder, clear powder, and nail file. And as you can see from this video, today's nail design is very easy for you to do at your home. If you don't have these little decorations, you can just use this color powder to finish the nail design at your home by yourself. File your nail slightly. Don't push it too much. Our dip glue is odorless without strong smell. And our fast drying dipping powder can air dry within 30 seconds. It can air dry by itself. Now we are going to use this buffer to buff the nail surface. Our fast drying dipping powder is more durable than regular color powder. It can last for 3 to 4 weeks. And our dip glue and our fast drying dipping powder are super easy to use, especially for you beginners and amateurs. The clear powder we used in this lab show is to protect the color and the decoration. So it's very important for you to apply a layer of clear powder before you do this filing. And as you can see, when our nail tech is doing the filing, our color powder won't fade out. The color is still solid. Our base and the top coat are super glue, so remember every time when you finish it, please make sure all the caps are tightened well. So you can still open the caps next time when you are doing the nail. And our activator is volatile. It can air dry by itself. Now let's turn to another hand. If you don't have these nail files at your home, you can find it on our Amazon shop store. We have our GHDip powder nail tools kit, which include clear dip powder, nail file, dust remover brush, bond pre-pad. The filing process is very important when you're doing your nails because it will get the color powder sticky to your nail surface. If you still have any questions about our dip glue and our fast drying dipping powder, you can contact our colleague on Amazon. Still, we have a lot of colors for your choice. And if you are a beginner and don't know how to do your nails at home, you can follow our Facebook group. You can find a lot of friends on Facebook, and you can learn more about our products. Also, you can see a lot of tutorials on YouTube and our Amazon shop store. Now the filing is finished. We are going to use this kind of brush to brush the extra powder off. Next, we are going to apply the top coat. As you can see from this live show. Okay, now next we are going to use this bond to clean the nail surface one by one. Also, you can find this bond on our Amazon shop store. Now we are going to do the final decoration. First, we are going to apply a layer of activator. It will help air dry the top coat. Apply the activator one by one. Remember, you don't have to apply too much activator on the nail surface. Now next we are going to apply the layer of top coat. Now let's start from the little finger. Because next we are going to apply a second layer of base coat. Before the first layer of base top coat, it still gets sticky and half dried. So we are going to do with 3 fingers first. Now we are going to apply another layer of top coat to make the nail surface double shiny. Please remember, every time you apply the top coat, it's very important to pay attention to the timing, because you only have to apply the second layer of top coat when the first layer is half dried. It's pretty shiny. Now let's turn to the last 2 fingers. Apply the first layer of top coat. Wait it until it's half dried but still sticky, so that the color will get double shiny. Now we are applying the second layer of top coat. Now we are going to use these tweezers to do some little decorations. We pick 2 pears. One is bigger. Okay, now let's turn to this stump. Apply another layer of top coat. Okay, finished. Now let's turn to this hand. First, we're going to apply the activator to help the top coat air dry. We're just going to repeat the same steps as we did before. Apply the activator one by one. Please remember, every time you apply the activator, don't apply too much on the nail surface. Now we are applying the top coat. Because the timing is very important, so we are just gonna start it with 3 fingers. Every time you apply the top coat, you should wait the first layer of top coat half dried but still sticky. Brush it evenly. As you can see from this show, our top coat can make the color and the glitter double shiny. Now let's turn to the last 2 fingers. Apply the first layer of top coat. And wait until it's half dried. Apply the second layer of top coat so that the color will get shinier. Now we are going to do some little decorations on this nail. We are going to use 2 pearls. Put it on the nail surface. It will make this nail look more beautiful. You can put any decorations you like. Okay, finished. Now let's turn to this arm. Apply the second layer of top coat to make it double shiny. Okay, we finished our nail design. They look gorgeous and shiny. And the color is pretty fit to this season. Okay, see you next time.